Hello, everyone. If you're someone who really struggles to take care of yourself, then you're in for an absolute treat because I'm joined by the completely fabulous Beverly Whitlow, and she's going to tell you all about self-care and how it works for her. So I'm going to hand straight over to you, Beverly.
Oh, Jules, thank you so much for inviting me. It's so wonderful to be with your audience and for me to share about my habits. My business is helping women on the menopause journey. So, for those who haven't actually seen me online, which I've been working diligently to show up everywhere, my name is Beverly Whitlow. I'm the CEO of Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm also a certified health coach helping women on their menopause journey to break through that stigma and lean into a fabulous, confident, and sexy new life. And I have actually been doing a podcast for a year now. I cannot believe it. Woohoo! A year. My podcast is entitled The Sexy Side of Menopause. And I'm having conversations with women around the globe, along with you, Jules, as well, about this journey. Because what I found, I started this in 2017, and there was barely any information about menopause online. And if you found something, it wasn't very insightful. It seemed very sterile and clinical. And I'm just like, where's the personal side? Where is the information where I can understand what's happening to my body in addition to preparing for this next phase of life? Thus, the sexy side of menopause was born. And this is for me sharing with women all of the amazing opportunities and change that actually is unfolding to step into a powerful life. And I refer to that as the sexy side of menopause. So that's a lot. So let's dive in and just talk about it. And one of the things about menopause is it's different from woman to woman. So I can talk about my experience. Jules, I'm sure you can share yours, and it would be totally different than what I experienced. But having these conversations, having a community where we can come together and have these conversations, it really serves women on this journey because as a health coach, working with these women on menopause, they're suffering in silence. So the conversation is needed globally, not just in our doctor's office, but on our jobs, in our communities, in our families, talking to spouses, talking to kids. There's a lot that we need to do to make it normal to communicate around this subject. When I was growing up, I'm a baby boomer. There was no conversation. It was like the change. And you weren't a part of that conversation, but that's the way they refer to it. So truly, there's a change that's happening, but there's also a dynamic unfolding. And the women on my podcast, they're talking about all the amazing things that they're doing. In addition to myself, I'm going to Egypt.
Wow. I love that you've reframed it because you're right. I'm a baby boomer too, and I was born in 1958. So yeah, it was the change. It was this unspoken thing, and it's so important that people are able to open up and talk about it. And the fact that you reframe it and call it the sexy side of menopause, I think, that's just absolutely so inspiring. So what habits would you suggest to women who are really struggling, Beverly?
I say it's all under the umbrella of self care. And that's different for each woman, just like your journey is different. For me, as a woman, I'm in a totally different phase of life. I don't have the responsibility of partners and children and parents. I'm kind of in this space that I'm on my year of travel. It's my sabbatical. So for me, self care was like, what is it that I really want to do at this stage of my life? When you think about the runway ahead, how do you want to feel that time? What is important for you? Because you're really not going to be able to say, you know what, one day I'll get around to it. It's today. Whatever's on your bucket list is today. And for me, I traveled a lot for companies and for business and building other people's dreams. And I did a lot of travel on my own, but they were short bursts of travel. And I decided, you know what? let me see how I can work in a year of travel. And I really had to be intentional and I had to set some parameters. So one of the things that was the impetus for this was I was invited to Paris to speak at an event for International Women's Day, and this was the spring. So I was like, okay, that's the universe talking. I love Paris. My family has some French lineage. I've been to Paris like 5 times. So it's just like, okay, how can I make this happen? So I was able to get my ticket first class all the way. This is where we lean into life and live fabulously. Sexy side. So I got everything lined up, and then I had somebody to reach out to me. I guess the AI algorithm saw that I was looking up Paris, and they were like, you know what, you can come to school here in Paris and study. And I'm just like, yeah, why not? So I signed up for a couple of weeks of classes in Paris. And then from there, I met a person who connected me with a woman that was in Paris. And she gave me all of these ideas of amazing things that you can do in Paris. And just like all of a sudden, it went to 2 months. So I literally was living my life in Paris for 2 months. I got goosebumps talking about it because it could have been something that was a fleeting idea, but I had to decide, you know what? Why not? It's my time. So then from there, I've been on this like enjoy. I'm a beach girl. I was born like literally on the beach, just like a walking distance to the beach. So I spent a lot of my childhood at the beach, and that's my happy place. I love water. So I decided, you know what? Let me enjoy some beach time. I'm in the DC metro area. I've spent a lot of time working there, and this is a grind. So to get away to the beach, it was so zen. So I took a couple of months traveling along the east coast of the United States, hitting the Carolinas and all of the great, great beaches, and I put all that online. And so now I'm in the fall season. So it's time to go to Egypt. So I'm going to be in Egypt for a couple of weeks with some amazing women, and this is all a part of the sexy side of menopause for me. And then I'm looking at possibly traveling to see family on the West Coast, or either taking an extended trip out of the country for travel based on business, because I'm thinking about retreat locations. So there's a lot for me to navigate in this year of my change, but it also is something that you can reflect as you navigate menopause. It's about change, and it's like, how are you going to navigate this? What is it that you're going to do to make this the best time of your life? And it's a decision, it's a choice. What habits are you putting in place so this works for you?
It so is. I love how you're speaking about it, and you're just creating your life as you go and doing the things that make you happy, saying yes to yourself and saying yes to life and to different choices which open up your horizons. But what you said about self-care being important, it so is, isn't it? It's really the basis of being healthy and happy. And for me, self-care is about managing my self talk. It's about being kind to myself. It's about knowing how to soothe myself when I need to. It's about nourishing myself with good food and exercising and really nourishing myself in terms of the tribe that I have around me. So it's many, many things, making sure I'm drinking enough water. It's all those things. It's making sure that the things that I put on my skin that actually go in are in line with my health and well-being. So it's many things for me. Is there anything else for you, Beverly, apart from obviously saying yes to Egypt and all those wonderful things?
Yeah, that's truly my self care. But I think if I pull it back to like day to day, for me, it's slow mornings. That is truly a gift and a blessing for me at this stage of my life, because as a person who's been working in DC in many different agencies at very high levels, it's like you were always on, and it's a 24/7 operation because we're dealing with matters around the world. And it's just like you're so tapped out and drained by the time you end your day. I used to commute in an hour, hour and a half some mornings, meetings first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock. It's just like, oh my God, I had just showed up in the office, and then there's meetings, and then sometimes working very late, depending on what the calendar was for deadlines for us in the agency. and then getting back home and trying to get family time in and going to social obligations. And it was just absolute burnout. And it's just like now I'm in the space where my day does not start for work until 11. And that's because I'm an entrepreneur. But I do have things that help me ease into my morning and set my intentions for the day. Like this morning when I got up, people say don't grab your phone. Yeah, I totally get that. But for me, because I'm moving around, I have to grab my phone and put something positive on to set the tone for the day. Affirmations, meditation, Zen, so I can set my frequency. And while I'm doing that, is bringing in gratitude and thankfulness for where I am and the things that are coming forward for me. And then it's movement. It's like I always travel with my yoga mat. So I'm doing some movement, some yoga, trying to get out and do walking. So those are things that set the tone for my day. So by the time I show up for my first meeting at 11, I'm fully showing up with a full cup, a
Yeah.
full cup.
The way you start your day absolutely dictates what happens from there on in. And what you're saying about gratitude, the more
Yes.
we're grateful, the more we get more to be grateful for. And it's so, so important, isn't it? No matter what's going on in our life, to be
Yes.
thankful. Because, when it comes to any kind of change, whether it's changes in our body or just changes in our circumstances, we don't know actually what the gift is or the lesson is until we've made that change. So it's really, really important to be grateful and to be curious and be willing to learn and grow and yeah, really participate in life because if we don't, then we kind of get buffeted around by life and actually we don't really have much of a say, and that's where the power is. So I love
Absolutely.
what you've shared, Beverly. Is there anything else you want to add before I wrap up?
Yeah, wrap up. Oh my God, there's so much more to talk about. I would say because of the work I do, community is very important. For women who are on this menopause journey, many times they find themselves suffering in silence. They don't know what's happening. Change is taking place in their bodies. They're not understanding it. And sometimes showing up in the doctor's office and being misdiagnosed because a lot of doctors sometimes are not even aware of the different timelines that women can show up with these menopausal symptoms. There's a window of like 15 years. So being in a community where you can have conversations and understand, like, okay, these are things that I need to be mindful of that start showing up in my life that I'm shifting into this journey. And what do I need to bring into my life, these habits to ease myself along this journey? Because if you're not paying attention to yourself, your body's going to be screaming and you're going to actually end up in a situation where you need major medical care. So are you eating right? That's another one. You mentioned the water. For me, it's about bringing in nutritious foods as we're navigating our journey because our bodies need a high level of vitamins and nutrients that you may have been able to get away with when you were younger, but by the time you hit this space where these hormones are starting to shift, you need to bring in good nutrition. So being in community, have conversation, understand what other women are doing, and listen to your body and give her what she's asking for as you're navigating this journey.
Yes, yes, yes. There's actually proof now that the key to happiness is community, that we all need community. So I love that you've said that. So having a community and also a coach like you to support them through that journey, what could be better than that? So I'm going to thank you very much, Beverly. I really appreciate what you've had to say. If any of you watching, listening have really been struck by some of the things that Beverly's had to say, then check out her links. They'll be below and get in touch. Mine will be there as well. So yeah, reach out, ask her a question. She's such an amazing woman, as I'm sure you can tell. So once again, thank you, Beverly, and thank you everyone else for watching.
Bye, ladies.